By 2050, the world will need to produce food for about 10 billion people. And all this will be with limited land, less chemicals, and even under harsher climatic conditions. This is why farmers and scientists alike have come up with better ways to grow food, which will be enough to sustain all of us in 2050 and beyond. Some of these practices or some of these methods are by using soil amendments like compost and compost teas. I know most of us know what compost are, but compost teas are just a liquid version of compost. They are produced by steeping compost in water to extract nutrients and the microorganisms needed for plant growth. The issue with these soil amendments is that we don't know how much of what they contain. That is, we don't know how much microorganisms and what microorganisms and how much of the nutrients that we talked about. This is where my research comes in. It seeks to investigate the composition of compost and compost teas, specifically on the nutrients and microbial composition. And also to investigate or to also find out if storage time and temperature affects this composition. With this, I went about an experiment sampling various compost and compost teas in Georgia. Because Georgia is a blueberry state, most of the farmers here are blueberry farmers. So the compost and compost teas sampled were compost and compost teas normally used for growing blueberries. We then stored half of these compost, that is 6 compost and 6 compost teas, 3 at room temperature, 3 at 4 degrees, and over an 18-week period, or analyzing microorganisms like total aerobes, salmonella, listeria, yeast and molds, and some fecal coliforms. We found out that compost and compost teas all had some level of total aerobes, yeast and molds, and fecal coliforms. What was interesting, however, was that salmonella was non-existent in compost and compost teas. However, listeria was higher for compost stored at 4 degrees, that is refrigeration temperature. This tells us that it's very important to watch, to be mindful of our storage of these soil amendments, because growing food for everyone in 2050 is more about growing food that won't make us sick. That is, our safety, or the safety of the food we grow, is as important as the amount of food produced. Thank you.